This is one of the Stila collectible palettes. It's a collectible city palette number 2, and they're coming out with these kind of new palettes for this year. And this one specifically is stylish in Seoul. So Seoul, South Korea, which is the capital, and I'm Korean American. I wasn't going to pick these up because I was kind of like a little bit over these travel palettes because I was kind of collecting them last year. But they are just really cute and portable. They're such a great size. They're very small and they're very thin, which is awesome. So they're really easy to just put in a purse, put in a travel bag, put in a school bag. These are coming with a nice size mirror. And they always have some little quote up here. And then they always also show you how to kind of use the colors. And then these are the colors that it came with. So now it's 5 eyeshadows and a convertible color, which basically means this can be a lip tint or a cheek tint. Okay, and then really quick, I'm just going to go back and show you what the difference is. So these are the ones where I was kind of collecting them last year. They're really cute. They're like this little like booklet kind of thing. They're actually a little bit thicker than the new ones. I think it just depends on how the cardboard is kind of cut, because these are just kind of like cardboard jackets. This one came with 4 eyeshadows and 2 blushes, and I really liked collecting these because it was a way to try, different color eyeshadows. They're kind of color coordinated a little bit, and they're really great to just travel with, But the blushes are okay. They're not my favorite blushes by any means, and you kind of need a blush brush that fits this little kind of area. Otherwise it's kind of just messy, because then you'll end up getting some eyeshadow or you'll end up getting some of the other blush. So that's a little difficult, and I don't really use these that much. But the eyeshadows were great. Then the other palettes that they had were, these are $10. Sorry, these were $14. These are $10, and these are definitely my favorite. These are as thin as the new ones, and they're so small. They're just these nice little mini booklets. And they came out with a bunch of these too. But what I really liked about them is they were 4 shadows and this convertible color, which I used as a lip gloss really, and then 4 eyeshadows, because I don't really use cream cheek colors, and I don't really use the blushes in these, and these are only 10 bucks. So these were by far my favorite, but they just didn't come out with a whole lot of them, where they came out with a bunch of these in a bunch of different colors. So I was kind of collecting them. So for this year, I wasn't going to really indulge in these because now they're $16. And if you can kind of see, they are kind of small. They're kind of this weird size where they're shorter than both of these, but they're definitely wider than all of them. So there's kind of this new square size that's different. But I do like that they have the convertible color, because I never really used the blushes anyways. And they do give you a ton of this middle color, where if you look at all the different palettes, I think the middle color is always like this lighter color. So it can be, under the brow highlight, kind of all over the eyeshadow color. And now they have these these thinner lined kind of formats of the other eyeshadows. So I'm debating if I want to pick up any other ones, but I definitely wanted to pick up this Seoul one because it's like Seoul, South Korea, so I thought that was neat. Let me go ahead and swatch these colors for you. And just put something over the mirror there. So this is the middle color. Okay, it's creamy. It definitely is kind of this high metallic color. I wouldn't call it a shimmer, but it's like this metallic iridescent shadow. And it's this light kind of peachy pink color. This is the silver one. This is actually really pretty. Went on really smooth. And it's not so much silver as it's kind of like, like a taupe or top, however you say that word. Like a grayish. It actually kind of matches my nail polish pretty well. This is then the top color. And this is just ever so slightly darker than the actual kind of highlight color. It's a little bit more peachy. It's surprising. I thought it would be a little bit darker, but it's kind of frosted. This is then this color. Ooh, this one's a little bit kind of, the application is a little bit rougher. These went on really smooth. I think it's because it's that, metallic finish. This isn't exactly matte, but I think because it's darker and more pigmented, it's not something I would put all over my eye. And it's kind of like a brown plum taupe. Then lastly but not least, this purple color. And this is a matte color. Now their matte colors are always, I think they have this kind of application process problem with them. Do you see where it kind of doesn't go smoothly with a finger? But that's for swatching purposes. I really don't use dark colors for anything except for like as eyeliners, so I don't really mind. But if you like to use dark colors to kind of put all over your lid, they are a little bit harder to kind of put on consistently. Does that make sense? Where the shimmer ones are really creamy and really easy to glide over the eye. So these are the 5 colors. This one is really kind of this nice dark purple eggplant color, then the taupe, then the kind of peach, and then the kind of brown plum, and then of course this highlight, which is this pale kind of pinky peach color. This is then the convertible color. I'm gonna have to go on this side. Oh, and that's actually really pigmented. I thought maybe it'd be more sheer, but that's got a nice kind of bite to it. Kind of reminds me of a berry color, a coral but berry kind of color, and kind of reminds me of it would give you that kind of stained lip look. But I definitely like the colors in this palette. I think they're interesting. They do a good job of including enough different shades and different lightness and darkness. I appreciate that they include a matte color and a highlight color, and I really prefer these convertible colors because then I actually use them as lip glosses, where the blushes in these palettes were kind of like eh. So then these are the swatches of the colors again, and then this is the palette. So really pretty colors, and I brought this palette out for comparison so that if you happen to have this one's the one that looked the most similar to me in terms of eyeshadows, if you can kind of see that there. So a little bit of a repeat in terms of eyeshadow colors, and sometimes that happens, so just kind of look at that if you have one of these other palettes. They are slightly different enough, I think. Like this purple is not the same. This one has a ton of sparkle. This one's matte. This taupe is not exactly the same as that taupe. This one's more of a glitter. This one's actually like a shimmer, metallic, iridescent thing. So they are different enough for me, and definitely the format of them is different enough for me. This is kind of with the blushes and everything. This has the convertible lip color. So I enjoy this palette, especially because it's Seoul, Korea, but it's up to you. It is $16. They raised the price on the palettes, so it's kind of like starting to get up there where, it's just cardboard. So is it worth the $16, to pay for cardboard? Yes and no. I think if you see a palette that you really like the color combination and everything, then these are awesome because it's so small and so portable. I mean, really nice. And I like that it's kind of cardboard because then it's super thin. And then I do like the application of these eyeshadows. Some are hit and miss, but this palette seems to be really good. And I like that it includes a convertible color now because I think those are more... you can actually use them, utilize them more than the blushes that came in this one. So this was the Stylish and Seoul palette. And these are the Collectible City palettes, and this is number 2.